Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm That Fat Guy, and today is another episode of Fat Chat. I'm very excited for today's chat because I've got a professional on the line with me. He does YouTube channels, he does all sorts of gaming, and I'm very excited to have a chat to Ryan. Mr. Ryan Betson, how you doing today, mate?
I'm very good, man. I'm very good. Thank you for having me on. It's very kind.
No, thank you for being with me because, damn, look at that setup. It's just amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been working on this for a couple of years. It's been good growth. It's one of those things. It's like good to look back. I remember my first set, which was 2 chairs, some posters, and some lighting that we made out of salad bowls and PVC pipe. So it's nice to see it sort of go up and up, which has been fun.
I love the DIY kind of stuff, mate. Yeah, I'm trying to do my best here. You know, I've got a couple
You've
of
got the mood
vinyls.
lighting.
Yeah,
I like the mood lighting.
I got the blue in the background, and I've actually got my new microphone. So you are the first Fat Chat with this new microphone. So hopefully I don't sound like I'm talking into a tin can with string.
Sounds good. And then you've got like Sex Hoff on the other side there. Look at that.
Oh yeah, Mr. Hoff here. He says, "To Ash, stay sexy, love the Hoff." And mate, I love the Hoff. I actually explain in today's video, which is Sunday, which will be last week for all of you watching, how that picture originated and how I got it. So check that out if you haven't already. I've got my man shake here. Looks like you got Batman water there.
Yeah, and I've done my shakes for the day. I'm heading into dinner time. You know.
That's fair enough. I'm a bit late today. Like today has just been hectic for me. So, but yeah, look, let's get into it. Thank you very much for being with us. There's, including for myself to learn a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, my man.
Yeah, no worries. I'm Ryan. I'm 30. I am the father of James. I am the wife of Millie. I am a mental health practitioner during the day. I work with a company called Genu here in Geelong, or a department called Genu Gamer, where we use games so tabletop gaming like Dungeons and Dragons, video games, war gaming, miniature painting, etc., as a means of socialization and capacity building for people with ASD, so autism or mental health challenges. And then by night, I am a content creator. I run a channel called The Pop Culturist, which I created with a friend of mine about 6 years ago. And then we've since expanded from a small-time radio show to a games press outlet. So we have 2 main tent poles at the moment, one being our PlayStation show, which you can see behind me, and the other is a wrestling show called The Young and the Wrestlers.
That's outstanding. The Young and the Wrestlers. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm proud of that one.
Did you think of that one?
No. Well, we're just kind of spitballing ideas, and a mate of mine's like, "Why don't you call it The Young and the Wrestlers?" I'm like, "That's genius." So I stole that in a heartbeat.
Good job, mate. Good job. And it sounds like you got a pretty rewarding job there, mate. Working with mental health and kids with autism, mate. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the job fell on my lap about 2 years ago now. So a friend of mine, Paris, has been doing it for a little while. He was doing communication and skills building using Dungeons and Dragons. Because the thing about Dungeons and Dragons, have you ever played, Ash?
To be honest, no. I haven't.
No worries. Cool. So it's a shared storytelling experience. So the best thing about it is you have to communicate.
Oh,
so
I've seen it on Stranger Things, so I'm very aware.
Well, pretty much that. So you sit around a table and you've got your character, and you need to present how you want your character to be and how you want them to respond. And sure enough, that gets these guys out of their shells and gets them talking. It also allows them to test out social things, social experiences, like even just something as simple as talking to a shopkeeper. For a lot of these guys, it's very difficult to engage with people in a room, let alone someone that is a random person at a JB Hi-Fi. So we help them by just without even realizing it to do that. And then I was hired to bring in video games as that, because that's a big spread of different gaming hobbies. So we kind of pick and tailor games that work in sort of communication, a lot of allowing them to shine and let them show the world who they are and why they are cool.
That is so cool, mate. And I got to say that sounds like such a rewarding job. Like honestly, giving these kids a voice. Like there's a few people I know that have kids with autism, and it can be really like debilitating in terms of like their social activity. And if you can that's genius. Like Dungeons and Dragons, like bringing it out. You're bringing them out of their shells. It's absolutely fantastic, mate. That's so good.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's yeah, it is very cool. Like prior to this, I worked in a call center for 5 years. I worked at Energy Australia. I don't care, name and shame him. Job fucking sucked. There's my one swear. I'll give it because that one it sucks so bad. Hated that job. And then I fell into this very luckily, and it's been amazing.
Well, that's good,
but
mate.
Yeah, because like the big thing for us, to add to, because you said your friends with the social, they love ASD kids love gaming, man. And every time they go into some other program, it's all about shaping and changing them to fit some sort of norm. With us, it's embracing what they love and using it as part of them to show the world who they are.
Well,
rather than forcing them to change. It's a big thing.
Well, good on you, mate. That's a very, very selfless job. Great job, mate. There. But about you,
yes,
about you. You're currently on a weight loss journey yourself.
I am. I very much am.
Tell us more about it.
So mine started in January. It wasn't supposed to be like a New Year's resolution thing, but it kind of became that way, I guess, by accident. So I'm now 5 months deep, as this is being recorded in May. I've just sort of been pushing it through. What started as just a lifestyle change, which then went into the man shake, which then helped me find you, and then I sort of went on from there.
Well, that's so good, man. What was your starting weight?
I started at 140.
What are you now?
I am now 126.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so 14 kilos down. So it just started, that was like the heaviest I'd ever been. And it's just one of those things of, this has got to be sorted. But actually, to be truly honest, my real motivator was money. Being fat is expensive. Very expensive.
Thought of it that way. What do you mean it's expensive?
So because I work in the center of Geelong, right? So right in the middle of town. So I would, I'd park my car in town. That would cost money. I would buy my lunch, that would cost money.
Yep.
I would drink coffee every day. That cost me money.
Does, yeah.
So like before I even started, because I said this wasn't really intended to be a weight loss journey. It was supposed to be a way for me to save money. So I started the year with a complete routine change to remove the parking, therefore I had to walk from where I parked to my office. I removed buying my lunches, so it forced me to be healthier with what I chose. Removal of coffee means I just saved dollars. That was pretty much. I still drink coffee, I just don't pay for it. And then once I started losing a little bit of weight, I'm like, I could do something with this. And then the brilliance of Facebook advertising, man shake, here it is right then and there.
They absorb your thoughts. I swear to God.
I don't know how they do it, man. But I was like, I think I should do some sort of meal replacement. It's like,
well, the amount of times that I've been like talking about some random topic, it's like, beekeeping nowadays seems to be a pretty cool kind of profession. And suddenly, like, these ads will pop up. It's like, create your own beehive at home. It's like, huh? Like the amount of times that you talk about something, you see the ads for it a bit later. They're listening. They have to be.
They do. They know. And like they're smart. It's learning. But it is one of those weird things. It's like, I'm so grateful that it was listening that time. Because I've always been a big dude. That's just something I've always been. And then, it wasn't until I saw the man shake. I'm like, we'll give it a go.
Had you heard of the man shake before that?
No, I hadn't actually. I was, just happened to see it. And then I was chatting around my workplace, and there's a woman I work with, and her partner tried it once to sort of do a bit of maintenance. I was like, they're any good? She's like, no, it's not too bad. I'm like, okay. Then I started scouring the internet, and that's how I found you. I'm like, man shake reviews. And sure enough, here's that. Here you are. Here's that fat guy with like, here's my 5 flavors and my reviews. I'm like, all right, I'm in.
That's so good. Like, look, thank you for the call out there.
No
It's funny
worries.
because like I put myself out on these videos, daily, and whenever I actually physically talk to someone that talks about my channel, I get all bashful and embarrassed. I'm just like, oh, like, but it's good that you took that first step and jumped on the man shake because it just works.
And that's the big thing for me. Yeah, it just works. Like I've tried many diets in my time. I tried like the Dukan diet a long time ago, which is a kind of just like paleo. You just eat meat the whole time.
Mm.
But since I tried that last, my insides have just gone chaos. Like I have a lot of digestional issues. So the idea of just eating meat was a really bad idea. So I decided not to do that. But yeah, no, it works, man. It's so simple. It's just replacement. So, and then additionally, I have been doing this journey with a friend of mine. His name's Craig.
Hi,
So
Craig.
hey, Craig, he's probably going to watch this. He started at 210.
Whoa.
So he's now
Big boy.
on, 190.
Wow.
So he's 20 down. So he and I have been doing it together. We went for a big walk this morning and we're both man shaking, which is great.
Well, Craig, if you're watching this, mate, great job. Keep it up. That's your first 20 kilos, mate. Your next one will come in no time. Honestly, fantastic job.
As I said, he's lost the equivalent of my kid, and if my kid was holding a small bag of potatoes, like that is what he's lost. It's actually pretty impressive when you think about it like that.
I love that, and now I just got the best mental image of that. That's fantastic. So have you, like you mentioned that you've always been big, like, was there any particular foods or what was your vice? Like what caused the weight gain?
As I said, like, yeah, I've always been big, so that's always just sort of there. But the answer is bad habits, to be honest. Like that what has got me to this place. I've always been very lazy. I've also, food has always been a comfort for me as well. And it wasn't until like semi recently where I've had to sort of have that realization, probably not within the last like year and a bit, is around like how food is that comforter. Because when I was working at, my previous job where I hated it, food was that comfort because it was like on my lunch break, I would go and buy something bad because it would make me feel better and it got me out of the office. So there was already the connection prior to that job, and then that job just reinforced it, because I was, in a bad way at that workplace. So that one source of comfort became very much a crutch. And then having to break that habit was incredibly difficult. But yeah, it's mostly just laziness, bad habits, and comfort.
And workplace pressure by the sound of it.
Yeah. It's just, there's a couple of other things that are a bit rough, and I'm happy to mention them as well. I don't really mind. So,
you don't have to.
Working in mental health, I'm very comfortable talking about mental health. So, around the birth of my son, I had a bit of a shit time. So I had spent 26 years of my life thinking that I couldn't have a child. I have medical documentation saying that it is not possible. And then my wife becomes pregnant. So it's like, that's bizarre.
Wow.
It's mine. Don't worry about that. It's mine. Everyone chill. Because he's born and he looks exactly like me and it's horrifying.
Wow.
But yeah, so it wasn't until he was born that it all became super real, like real fast. So because you spent so long thinking that you can't do it, and even the idea, I know you've got your child.
Yeah.
So like, it's not until they're born you go, wow, this is kind of cool. So with that sudden change in life and everything, I kind of had like the male equivalent of like postnatal depression, I guess.
Yeah.
I got hit really hard. I don't remember the first 6 months of my son's life. It's just gone.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, that, and then once I returned to work after, I was like very lucky to be able to squeeze about like 8 weeks off to look up to when my son was born. I started resenting my workplace. So there was a lot of negative mental health there, and that would that also assisted with the weight gain, being stuck in an office, hating yourself, hating everything. It really put that pressure back on me, and that's where a lot of that extra weight came from too.
Well, I got to say that's pretty full on, and thank you for sharing that. It's no joke, and men and women do suffer from it. And like I'm happy that you've come out the other side, and that you're now in a much better place. And now that you're also on the health kick for your physical self, that will just your mental state will just get better and better by this day will pass. Do you find that at the present moment?
I thought that is very true. Like because similar to yourself, I have put my weight loss on public display because I think it's, similar to yourself, it's very important to have that public accountability. So I putting it out there, and that does also mean with the challenges that come with it. Because additionally to whatever happened around my son, I also have an anxiety disorder, which is pretty commonplace these days. So that does sort of add another layer. But you are spot on. This lifestyle change, this health change, helps all of it. And it's especially when you have especially when you've got some like gnarly anxiety. Like the first thing that goes is your heart rate, right? Starts kicking into gear. When you're losing weight and your heart rate isn't so high anymore, that flux is not so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear
so
you.
You already had a high heart rate, and then you have an anxiety attack on top of that. Your heart's shooting. It's gone absolutely gnarly. But now, I'm like 20, 30 points down on a resting heart rate. It's not so bad.
No, that's really good. You feel like you're actually relaxing. Because I spoke about it in a recent video. Like my resting heart rate was around like 80 to 90. And that's ridiculous. Yeah. Like at 160 kilos plus 90 kilos, 90 beats a minute is just ridiculous. So now, like I find that my average like resting range is in like, that little bracket that they say is a normal average, like between 70 and 60 or something, which is just one of the most awesome feelings like ever. Like, you just feel like, oh, my heart mightn't kick out on me so early in life now.
Yeah, like, so I don't know where mine sits, sort of it's resting because of of my challenges. Like it's constant chaos. Like if you look at my Apple Watch and you see my heart rate, it's bonkers all the time. But on average, it's pretty sweet.
Well, look, I'm happy to hear that the bonkersness is getting a bit less bonkery. Is that the word that you use?
We'll go with that. Bonkery. If it's not a word, it should be.
So what's your long-term goal with your weight loss? Like, do you have a goal?
Well, originally, because you did ask me a couple of questions before we did this, and it kind of had to make me sort of think about what my goal would be. So with my starting of this not being about losing weight, like my original goal was save enough money to buy this chair. That was goal number one. Yeah, I mean, because I need a new chair in here. So I was like, okay, well, I achieved that goal, sweet, and now I guess I'll just lose weight now.
I'll just lose weight now.
So in terms of my goals, I decided to not put a numbers goal on it. Because even though I am a numbers guy, because prior to all this, like I am an actual biologist is my original profession. I've got like 2 science degrees, so like I'm a big numbers guy.
Wow.
So I break the cardinal rule of weight loss, and I weigh myself every day. I like to graph it and follow it, and that's very important to me. However, I decided to not put number on it. So my plan is for anyone that's in the gaming biz or the gaming industry or passion, there's an event called PAX. It's called PAX Australia. It comes every October. This year it probably won't because of whatever circumstances. But my plan, my goal is simply pretty for PAX. I want to be pretty for PAX.
P4P. So, I like it.
P4P. And the reason being is because, being in games press, this is that one moment where everyone's together, and there are people here that I only ever see once a year. And we may communicate online, but I only ever see them once. So my goal would to be when that October comes around, when PAX is there, and I stroll into that media room and I see my friends, see my colleagues, see my associates, and I am unrecognizable.
Can I just correct you on something there? It's when you strut in there.
Yes. Just to make my way in. That's my plan. So I want to be unrecognizable in a good way. I want people to be like genuinely see a difference and be baffled by it.
That's cool. I like that goal. It's very measurable too. Like I've got right here on my notice board, my little goals there that I originally wrote up very early on. And one of them was like the June long weekend. I mentioned I wanted to do paintball. So I'm like, every year for the June long weekend, me and probably about 30 or 40 guys catch up for what's called the annual super meet. And I wanted to have that sort of same experience, show up like looking like half the person that I was before and get that reaction. And though you're in it for yourself to lose the weight, getting that reaction is just so validating.
Yeah, big time.
So good. And who knows? October's still a long way away. It may still go ahead.
It could, but the biggest problem with PAX is like 40,000 people in a venue over a weekend. Like it's very unlikely that's going to happen. Even then, it involves a lot of international guests and companies coming in and getting involved, and I don't see that travel happening anytime soon. So if it does, it's probably going to be very, very small. But yeah, look, if you wanted to get numbers, I want to get to as close to 100 kilos as I can. I haven't been 100 kilos since high school. And I left high school 12 years ago. So, and then additionally, right now in terms of another short-term goal is like, I now weigh less than when I moved here 7 years ago to come live with my wife.
Wow.
So like that, it's an achievement right there.
That is an achievement. What does your wife think about all this?
It's inconvenienced her because she now has to think about her own lunches and not count for me. So she's like, well, you normally pick what we'd have for lunch, and now it's all on me. I'm like, well, I'm not sorry about that. I'm feeling really good.
First world problems.
Yeah, big time. No, my wife is incredibly supportive, which is great. Because I'm even thinner now than our wedding. So I may have to re-pull the wedding suit out and get some new shots.
That's a good idea.
But no, she's incredibly supportive. And pro get less fat Ryan. She's a big fan of that.
I like that. It's good to have that support there. And my wife is also very supportive as well. Like she was spearheading it. I'm like, yeah, you need to lose weight.
Well, that's that real tough line. She's like, oh, but also, it's like, oh, I love you as you are, but can you really lose some weight?
I would love you more if you were less fat.
That's what I get to do now. Now that I get to buy like new, smaller pants, I'm like, do you want to marry this person? A bit of fun that way.
It is a real saving of money, and that's what I found as well. Like, I mean, like if you're going through Coles or the Terry White pharmacy and such like that, you look at it and you're like, oh, geez, X amount of bag. It's when you work it out, like your lunch, your breakfast works out to be like a little over $2 or $3 each. And like when I would normally spend like $14 to like $17 on lunch daily, like just you save so much money from it and you lose weight. Like,
yeah. And that's the big kicker for me is like, I haven't even had to do a whole lot to do it. Like it was a combination of, just drink this in the morning and, and this at this time. And then I just walk to walk from where I parked my car. So it's about a 20-minute round trip, 20-minute one way, about 40 minutes of walking a day. I'm like, all right, cool. That seems pretty straightforward. Yeah. And it just starts coming off, which is great.
And the thing that I like about it is that it's called something like the man shake. Like it's not like OptiFast or, some sort of like, really neutral name designed to like seem impressive, but it's just like the man shake. Like I
do like it. So I'm like, oh, that's a bit gendered. And then I see and then you look at the ingredients and you go, oh no, I get it. This is designed for men.
Yeah.
So it's not just the man shake because it can be. It is literally formulated for men and what men need. Like the problem with like OptiSlim and all that sort of stuff is they are like, oh no, it's generic. Here's for everybody. It doesn't work like that. There is that difference from a biological level between the different sexes.
Well, that's why they have the lady shake as well.
Exactly. And when you look at those two, the ingredients list, you're like, okay, now I can clearly see why there's two different ones. And that is why it's probably part of why I'm seeing more success. Because it's built for me.
That's good. So do you do the 2 shakes a day, do you?
Yeah, I do. So I do the 2 shakes with a little bit of mix of like intermittent fasting as well. So I don't eat until 10 a.m. So my first shake, but even then now that's flexing a bit later just because of work. So 10 o'clock first shake, I have a snack at 12, which is normally a man bar. 2 o'clock is the second shake, maybe something around 4. And then the best thing about this is dinner can sort of be kind of whatever I
You've
want.
just stolen my routine.
Get out, really?
Dude, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. I have a coffee when I first get up. I have my R2D2 coffee, my big plunger coffee, which is like I just smash that, and that will last me until 10. And then I have my man shake. But like, do you still giving yourself those celebration meals or cheat meals?
Very much so. Very much so. Because like, as I said, like knowing that part of me is connected to that comfort of food. Because previously up until now, all my celebration moments had been linked to food. Something good something good, we'd go out for dinner. Some sort of achievement, we would do something food related. Or we'd have, a friends over and we'd have a little feast and we'd cook a big, taco fiesta or something. And it's like, well, having to break that connection is really tough. So, a big part of it had been, just still trying to put that in there where I can. And, it is that thing is, as you said in the video in the past, like it actually helps your body. It gives a bit of a shock, gives a bit of a kick. It lets it know that it can process things.
So what is your cheat meal at the moment? Like with this whole isolation thing, you're obviously not having Fiesta Tuesdays and such, but like when you go for your celebration meal, what are you having?
It does vary. So like normally my big weakness is KFC, or Dirty Bird as we call it.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I do love my Dirty Bird, but I've been doing my very best to not to go there because I know that is like that weakness for me. So it's a mix of doing it for some self-control and just sort of I'll go there, and I have had it since my journey started. It's just like we'll go there intermittently.
You don't want to have a snowball effect.
Exactly. I don't want there to be like, and as I eat that Zinger burger and then my world collapses in on itself again.
It's like when Barney in The Simpsons tastes the champagne and he's like this full trained astronaut.
Oh,
like,
no, not again.
It begins. Yeah. Look, I hear, but I have to do it. Like last night I had like the Zinger box, large Zinger box, and like I literally was like, just picking like all the little bits of fried chicken at the bottom of the box, mate. And like, I know it seems really bad to talk about KFC on a weight loss channel, but like, for my mental sanity, that's what I reward myself with, and I'm still losing weight. So.
Yeah, so for like an example, the cheat meal this week was pizza, because my wife loves pizza, my son loves garlic bread, so I'm like, that's pretty easy. Except the difference here is just change, right? So it's change of portion, and it's also change of what I would get. So normally I would get a barbecue meat lovers, and then probably eat most of it, if not all of it, depending on the time. Where now it's all right, I'll get like an Aussie. It's lighter, and maybe I'll add a little bit of garlic prawns on it just for something a little bit of pizzazz. And then instead I'll only eat 3 pieces now. You know what I mean?
So garlic prawns is the pizzazz that goes on pizza.
I don't put much I don't put much thought into it. I'm like, I don't know, garlic tastes really good. Let's put that on there. Look. As I said, this was one of my early cheat meals when I was like, I'm gonna order this online. Normally when you make the phone call, I'm like,
no judgment.
Can I please get exactly what I get every time? But I was online. The mistake of ordering online is it's like, would you like to add anything extra to your pizza? I'm like, yes, I do. Click, 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 click. Get a little bit creative. I'm like, maybe a little bit of this, a bit of half, a little bit of something. Yeah. And that's how I discovered the garlic prawn on pizza is amazing. So I've been adding that.
I swear I was getting to that point with Domino's. Me and Domino's, like I'll call up. It's like, hello. Ash, how you doing? You want your regular order? It's like, how do you know it was me? We know. Just that kind of thing, But like I think those cheat meals are very important. And your little one, he likes the garlic bread, does he?
Oh, loves the garlic bread. That and chippies. Big fan of chippies because he's a kid, But
yeah, chippies. Chippies and nuggets, mate. That's the one phrase that I've learned like, it's like ingrained in my brain. So like, even when I'm like at any sort of restaurant, like when they were open, because Alyssa, my daughter, she's 4 and she just goes crazy for chips and nuggets, and every kid's menu has chips and nuggets on it. And I find myself just like, when I get to a restaurant, I now open up the menu and I just go straight to the kids menu. Chips and nuggets on there, great. We're gonna have a good dinner then.
Yes, my son's 3, and he's very, very similar in that way. So like for him, he doesn't. He's at this age where he knows the difference between things, and like he knows home chippies and chippies from outside. So I say, "What do you want for dinner, buddy?" "I want outside chippies." Like, oh no, that's bad. And like for KFC, because we normally get a family meal and we kind of share it, and then some normally stays into the next day. Well, back then, now it's like, oh, that's all yours, wife. I don't want anymore. So for him, it's chippies, nuggets, and potato, because potato and gravy. That's how I know which meal he wants. He normally tells us.
Well, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Kids are great.
They're
Side
great.
note.
Yeah. If you haven't had any, have them if you can. They're just.
Or just do what I did and think you couldn't, and then you could, and you're like, oh man, and then it's really cool. But he's also a big motivator for me as well, because he's getting older, he's running around more, and he's crazy, and because he watches a lot of wrestling with me, because I'm a big wrestling dork. He enjoys tumbling around with me, and I'd get puffed out super early, like way back in the day, and now I'm like, all right, this is a title match. You and I were going for it.
You want to be at that point where he's 7 years old and you're doing the tombstone on him for the 9th time, and you can still keep going. Is that right?
Pretty much, that's the plan. That's right. From the top of the couch, I'm like, I'm not done yet, brother. Catch him, slam,
suplex. Suplex is the one where they're up on your shoulder, aren't they?
So they grab them and you launch them backwards out of your head.
Yeah, thought so. Do you believe that in today's society, with how like the whole world is situated, with fast food becoming much more prevalent, and now we've got like the body positivity campaigns, just pushing more people towards just being happy regardless of your size. Do you think that being overweight is becoming much more accepted in today's society?
I would agree. I think it is. And that can be for good and bad, because as you said, body positivity, hell yeah, you do you. Like, that's where I sit in the camp of you do you, just don't be a dick and don't hurt anybody by doing it. Because like, if you are happy in your skin, then hell yeah, dude. Like, there are so many people that aren't happy in their skin. So if you, the happiest you is you at exercise and you are living the best life, then all power to you, man. Because that's where I thought I was, man. Like, I was, 140 kilos. I had been heavy for so long. I adapted to it. Like, this is my life, and this is, I kind of got. There's a little bit of giving up in there. It's like, yeah, this is who I am, and I'll just run with it, and I'll be happy with who I am.
Well, do you think that like being that size for that long kind of numbed you to that feeling? Like, did you think that was just, hey, this is just what it feels like to be alive? Like.
Probably, yeah. I would certainly think so. Like, because I have always had a hang up about my size. Being bullied in primary school and high school, which everyone can sort of relate with, and then sort of being bigger as I've gone along. Like, there is that part of it. So it is very amazing to live in a time where body positivity is a thing, and like you can be happy with who you are, and you can feel like that the removal of that societal pressure that allows you to make that decision. So rather than being stuck in shame and guilt, you can look at yourself happily and be like, you know what? I'm feeling good. I bet I could feel better. And I think that's the big difference there. Because, like, as you said, like we were discussing, you mentioned the fast food. And like, yes, it's so prevalent that you can come to my house, which right now in a pandemic is rad. Not for me, because thankfully the estate that I live in is just out of all the range. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't. It's very handy. But, it's been very helpful in these current times. And however, there is that concerning nature of it being able to arrive at your house.
Oh, Uber Eats and all
that.
that.
Do anything. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's look, I think it's a very double-edged sword. Like, and as you said before, like be you, and be happy with who you are and such like that. But I think if you really talk to those people that are on the very large or the super skinny side of things, honestly, they're being 100% honest with themselves. They may or may not be very happy with themselves. No one is ever 100% happy with themselves, but you don't find like how you feel unless you try and get into it. Like, I don't know how to say this right, but like, I felt like that being depressed, anxious, and everything like that was just normal part of life until I started to lose weight, and then I started to get a little bit better and better and better. And I'm not saying that you need to, lose weight to be thin, to look good, to have that positive mental health, but I found it a completely different experience. And when people are out there saying that you could be, fit and fat, it morbidly so, I don't think it's a really good message for a lot of people. It's just encouraging them to, live an unhealthy lifestyle that will lead to their early death.
Yeah, and that's certainly a thing, because that's, as I mentioned at the start of of this chat, was my mate Craig. He was 210 kilos, and like, he's one of my dearest friends, and he's also, like, we're not religious, but he is the godson equivalent to my child. So for us, it's more of we want him to be around for my son as long as he possibly could. And that goes for me too, because like I have a pretty gnarly fear of death. So if I can push that shit back, I'm going to do it. It's like for as long as I can. And in terms of, as you mentioned with the mental health and being large, and that's that thing. So you may not be entirely happy, quote unquote, but however it works, like, with my friend, and I guess with myself as well, it wasn't until we started seeking help around our mental health and allowed us to sort of lift some barriers that made us open to wanting to make those changes, because we were stuck in these pits that we couldn't dig out of. And then we made that barrier, we made that change, because, as I said, I've tried to lose weight many times before, and yet I still ended up the biggest I ever was. After that.
Yeah.
So because you have to be in that right headspace. And the best thing about that, if your head's in a good space, you'll want your body to be in a good space. And when your body's in a good space, your head's going to be in a good space. And you just create this great cycle of positivity and just sort of working happily with yourself. And on top of that, because, as I mentioned with my career, I also want to set a great example for my clients. A lot of them, because of their challenges, some of them get stuck in sort of bad eating habits as well, or bad habits, because, working in gaming, especially, they're like, we need to beat stereotypes right now. There's stereotypes about what a gamer is. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Do better than that.
Yeah, there is a big stereotype about that. Like, people always think that the typical gamer is like your boogie 298s, like the hugely morbidly obese.
Even he on himself went on a weight loss journey and lost a ton of weight too.
He had he had a surgery. It's very impressive. He's had a surgery. He's lost a whole bunch of weight. He's still going, and he's since then taken care of his own body. He suffered from huge depression and everything. That came from an abusive household. It's ridiculous. But
so he's had a lot of trauma in his past.
He's had a lot of trauma. But that's the kind of the point I'm trying to get to. Regardless of where you think you are at, if you are at a stage where if you're completely honest with yourself and you aren't happy with what you see or how you feel, do something different to make a change. And whether that be get mental help, have a chat to someone, friend, family member, or a professional, or do something different to make your physical self healthier. Just get into it. Just do it, because you have nothing to lose but all to gain. Other than kilos, that is.
Even if just like me, your motivation was money. It wasn't even like the whole mental body. It was a completely different motivator. Like, whatever it is that gets you on that momentum is kind of where it's at, right?
Exactly right. Just so long as you are happy doing what you're doing, you're doing it for the right reasons and for just reasons, then.
And it is one of those things. And because the best thing about the journey, especially, and this is one of the hurdles that I don't know about you, Ash, but I certainly face it. Like, I look in the mirror and I don't see a difference most days. I look and I still think I'm exactly what I was 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Right. I look at it. It takes me, because you see yourself every day, and like there is part of your brain that you'll have to fix. I imagine even Jerd, losing like 7 people's worth of weight, even some days he probably looks and goes, oh man, but because it's part of your brain. Like, if you've been large for long, your brain is wired differently because you're used to seeing it that way. So like, it's not until you see photos or, you look back, or like an example was, so when I was editing my wrestling show, the intro of it is I met a wrestler named Kofi Kingston, right? I interviewed him last year, and it's one of those things. It's one of my happiest moments I've ever had, because I got to meet like and he was lovely. And then now when I edited that video the other day, and that intro played, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize I was that large.
That's the importance of taking those before shots. Like, you got to take those shots.
I didn't do it because my motivations were different.
Yeah. A lot of people don't do that. So if you are starting your weight loss journey, take pictures, and you'll hate taking pictures of yourself if you're anything like me. Nude on up, wear some underwear. But like, get someone, or you take a photo of yourself, front, back, side. Take some measurements. Get some clothes that like barely fit you. And just keep that mentally locked away, and those pictures locked away. So in 3 months' time, if you're feeling a bit demotivated, come back to those. Get in those clothes, see how you feel. Wow, damn, like I can fully close these pants, and all the difference. Like, what would you say, Ryan, to anyone who was just kind of like so close to getting on that journey, like getting on your weight loss journey?
Give it a whirl. Why not? Yeah. It's one of those things. Give it a go, because there is that weird line of like, what's the worst that can happen? And it goes either one way. Either you stay exactly the same, or you start losing weight. Like, it's not going to be like, I'm going to try this weight loss thing and gain more weight. Not going to happen. I mean, it's either you stay the same or it shifts.
I'm gonna try this weight loss thing and gain weight. Like,
I mean, like, I'm gonna try these shakes and see how it goes. Next thing, you're 20 kilos heavier. That's not how it's gonna work.
Only I would do something like that. Like, I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do keto, and then just like find a way to get fatter. It's like,
or even then, it's like maybe like give it a go, but also find your motivator. Find what it is, whether it be, as we said, being pretty for a certain event. For your child, for your partner, for a family member, for money, whether you want to save money to eat less, or you want to be able to, eat less so you can drink more. I don't know. Think about it and just like find what motivates you to want to do it and just run with it.
That is awesome. Find your motivator and run with it. Find your motivator. So whatever it is that motivates you, write it down, take a picture of it, or just capture that moment and just remember it. Because, when sometimes you'll be really demotivated, like weight loss is never easy. But if you can find those motivators and keep with it, you'll be sweet.
Yeah, and then additionally, excuse me, find someone to do it with you if you can. Not like, hey, friend, you're pretty fat. Let's be less fat together. Maybe don't have that conversation. Yeah. But find, if you can find someone to do it with, whether it be a friend, whether it be a family member, or whether it be like
find a YouTube channel and just hit that subscribe button. That fat guy.
Yeah, a gentleman on YouTube. Maybe you just have to go to like youtube.com/that fat guy. Who knows? But that is part of it, because you need to find those inspirations. You need to find that to work with. Now, this isn't a comparison thing. It's about someone having your back. Because I don't know about you, but like myself, I would always find ways to not do something. Yeah. So here, maybe make yourself publicly accountable. I have some friends that are willing to be that safety net. They're willing to be there and keep me on my toes. Whether that be hey man, I noticed you haven't had a shake, or hey, how much you down? Yeah, I mean, like just those conversations, because you don't want, I don't want to be like, yeah, I didn't do it, so like,
Yeah.
that's the big thing. So like, when my friend Craig, like whenever he gets sort of demotivated, and he'll send me a message, and we'll chat it out, and he'll get him to that place again. It's a big thing. And I've said this to you in your comments, and I'll say it to you here in person, Ash. Like, your channel is literally an inspiration. I'm not just jerking your dick because I'm on here, but like, your channel is an inspiration. It is absolutely amazing. You're providing a safe and supportive place for a bunch of like-minded individuals to come together and on a collective journey. Because on top of that, that also includes the Man Shake Men page. I have been in like 1,000 different social groups on the internet ever, and not one of them has been as positive as the Man Shake Men.
It's
unquestionably
crazy.
Everyone in there is just like, shit, yeah, you're losing weight, you're awesome. It's just so good.
You can do this. You can do this. Like, it's just
that's what it
like,
is.
Just like, just keep going while we shout motivation at you.
But it's not even that as well. It's not even just like a completely like motivating place. Like, there's people being like, look, I'm having a rough time. I fell off the wagon. What can I do? And there's a group of people that'll be there to support you and help you.
Well,
you got to find that. It's awesome.
Well, thank you for saying that about my channel. It's very nice. It blows my mind that people say that about my channel, because I started this back in January, purely just to keep myself accountable and like help me lose the weight, and to get messages that I do and comments like yours saying that I've inspired them to make a difference, make a change. It just blows my mind, and it just makes it so rewarding. And for that, I thank you. And I thank everyone who is watching this video right now. Like, honestly, I couldn't do it without yourself. You guys are helping me lose the weight. And that's it. That's all I can really say about that. Like, I could gush on forever, but this isn't about me. It's not purely about me. But but look, we have been talking for a while now. We'll start to wrap it up there, Ryan. But
yeah, I'm a professional talker, so I do apologize. So I'd go for
hours. I could talk for another hour or two, but man, like, it's just a matter of like, we got to make sure we keep this at a decent time. Like, plus, what time is it now? It's getting close to video upload time. I got to upload today's video. I finished it. It's ready to be exported, but then I just got to upload it and get everything going. So the joys of doing a daily vlog, I guess. But look, honestly, Ryan, it's been so good having a chat to you, mate, and putting a face to the name.
It's been great to converse with you in not written words. So it's fantastic.
I'll never forget the way that because I like when I first said your name, I think I said Betson or no Beatson or something like that.
Yeah,
and then you're and you're like, no, it's Bet Son, as in you put on a bet, son. And
the worst thing is I've never used that example in my entire life. I'm like, well, that works.
It worked. I haven't forgotten it. But honestly, man, like, thank you for your support on the channel. Thank you for being here on this episode of Fat Chat. If anyone else out there wants to be part of this, like I know, like, looking at his setup, looking at Ryan's setup, it's pretty professional. And now I've got this microphone. Look, all you need is to have a smartphone. And everyone has a story. I would love to talk to you. So if you want to be part of Fat Chat, hit me up on Instagram at that.fatguy. You can message me on YouTube, or you can find me on the Man Shake Men page on Facebook. But once again, Ryan, thank you for being with us today. Do you have anything else to say to our lovely viewers out there that might still be watching?
Thank you for staying this long, because I talk a lot of crap, so it's much appreciated. But thank you for having me on, Ash. It's been this journey was something that came out of the blue for me, and I'm so grateful I've been able to share it with a bunch of people like yourself and the other dudes at the Man Shake Men page, and just as all my friends and my family. I do really feel that this is that pivotal moment of change in my life, and I'm glad that I've been able to sort of share it and document it in a very cool way. So thank you.
I'm putting up a note here saying, tell them to subscribe.
Oh, and also you should totally subscribe. And when you're done subscribing to Ash, maybe you can check out me. I don't know if you want to, but
yeah, no, spruik your channel away, mate. Spruik it away.
Yeah. So if you want, if you're a fan of either professional wrestling or PlayStation specifically, or video gaming, you can check out The Pop Culturist. So that's as in like a scientist, but a pop culture scientist. So we have 2 shows for the players and Young on the wrestlers. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter, HaggardMC, HAGGARDMC. Talk a lot of crap on Twitter. Twitter's a lot of fun. But you'll see me in Ash's comments.
Well, I'll put links all to the relevant things down below. But honestly,
that would be very helpful.
Yeah, follow him. Ryan, it's been awesome chatting to you. Thank you so much again. Wrapping it up this time. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us today. You have yourself a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow, and also next week for Fat Chat episode. What's this? This would be episode 7, episode 8. Can't believe it. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.
It's not a real goodbye unless you say it 3 times, so we're good.
Yeah.